In March 2018, Supercell released a new legendary card called Mega Knight. He cost 7 elixir, he landed from the sky with a splash damage stomp, he had high hit points, splash damage on every swing, and a built-in jump that let him reposition across the arena. The release trailer showed him crushing entire pushes in a single landing. The community went silent for a week, and then Reddit erupted. Within a month, Mega Knight had become the most hated card in Clash Royale. 8 years later, in 2026, he is still the most hated card in Clash Royale. He has never been the strongest card in the game. He has never won a World Championship final, and yet, in every single community sentiment poll Supercell has ever published, Mega Knight comes out on top. This is the story of why one card, mediocre on every win rate chart, has held the title of most hated for almost a decade. To understand the hatred, you have to understand the moment of release. In early 2018, Clash Royale was in a control deck era. Players were running slow, methodical decks built around Inferno Tower, Royal Giant, and Lava Hound matches were tactical. Elixir economy mattered. Counters were precise. Then Mega Knight landed in the arena like a comet, did splash damage on impact, killed every cheap support unit a player had on the field, and walked toward the tower with full health. The early Mega Knight had a damage radius that hit nearly every common defensive placement. He killed Skeleton Army on landing. He killed Goblin Gang on landing. He killed Princess on landing. The cards that defined careful play in the previous meta were instantly invalidated by a single deployment. The community response was unlike anything Clash Royale had seen. Within weeks, the Clash Royale subreddit was averaging dozens of Mega Knight nerf threads per day. The complaints clustered around one specific phrase: "He requires no skill." The argument was simple. A new player could place Mega Knight on top of an opponent's push, watch the splash damage clear the field, and walk to the tower for a free crown. There was no positioning, there was no counterplay window, there was no elixir trade calculation. The card did everything for the player who deployed it. Veteran players who had spent years learning how to manage their elixir bar and counter pushes watched their skills stop mattering. The result was a long-term grudge that the card has never been able to shake. Supercell, to their credit, listened. The Mega Knight has been nerfed at least 6 times since launch. His landing damage was reduced, his swing damage was reduced, his radius was tightened, his hit points were trimmed by 2020. The Mega Knight had been adjusted enough that his win rate sat in the middle of the chart. Pros stopped running him in tournament play. Top ladder decks moved on. By every objective measure, he was no longer overpowered, and yet the hatred persisted. The reason was not statistical, it was emotional. Players who had been losing matches to Mega Knight in 2018 carried that frustration into 2019, into 2020 and forward. The card became a symbol. It represented the moment Clash Royale shifted away from skilled play and toward big, splashy commitment plays. Even players who had never lost a match to Mega Knight inherited the hatred from older players online. The second wave of hatred came with Arena unlock changes. Mega Knight was originally locked behind Arena 10, deep into the player progression. In later seasons, Supercell shifted his unlock to earlier arenas. New players started encountering him in Arena 7, then Arena 6, for new players who had not yet built defensive answers. Every deploy of the card felt unbeatable. The cycle of hatred renewed with each new wave of players entering the game. By 2023, the most upvoted post on the Clash Royale subreddit for the year was a meme about Mega Knight in low arenas. The card had achieved permanent meme status, and its hatred had become a generational rite of passage in the community. Then came evolutions. In 2023, Supercell launched the evolution system. Cards could be powered up using cycles, transforming them into stronger versions for a portion of a match. Mega Knight received an evolution shortly after launch. The evolution gave him a slow pulse area effect on landing that lingered. Defensive units took ongoing damage just for being near him. Players who had finally learned to counter Mega Knight by stacking cheap troops behind him saw their counters melt under the evolution effect. The hatred reached a new peak. Reddit threads asking Supercell to remove the Mega Knight evolution ran for months. Pro player commentary called the evolution rushed and overpowered. Even casual creators started running thumbnail videos titled simply "Mega Knight is back." Supercell adjusted again, the evolution was nerfed, the cycle requirement was lengthened, the pulse damage was lowered. By the end of 2025, the evolution was no longer broken. By every measurable standard, the Mega Knight base or evolved was now a mid-tier card, and the community, by every measurable standard, still hated him. The April 2026 balance update introduced another small nerf. The community celebrated the nerf, then immediately complained that it was not enough. The deeper truth about Mega Knight is that the hatred is not about balance, it is about identity. Mega Knight is the card that breaks the implicit contract Clash Royale offers its players. The contract is that careful play, tight elixir management, and good counter knowledge will let the better player win. Mega Knight, especially when first encountered, breaks that contract. He clears the field. He punishes good defense by simply landing on top of it. He cannot be ignored. He cannot be slow played. He demands a specific answer in the deck every match forever. And for a player who has built a deck around finesse, the demand to include a Mega Knight counter feels like a tax on creativity. This is why no amount of nerfing has changed the sentiment. The mechanical issue has been addressed, the emotional issue has not. As long as Mega Knight exists in his current form with the splash landing, the jump, and the high hit points, he will represent the moment Clash Royale stopped being purely a skill game and started being a game with cards that punch above their cost. For players who joined the game in 2016 and 2017, that moment is unforgivable. For players joining in 2026 who never knew the pre-Mega Knight era, the inherited hatred shapes the meta they enter. In 2026, Mega Knight is everywhere. He is in roughly 15% of ladder decks. He is almost never in tournament decks. He is the single most discussed card on every major Clash Royale subreddit and Discord. Streamers still title videos around him. New players still rage quit against him. And 9 years after release, the title of most hated card in Clash Royale is not even contested. The Mega Knight wears it like a crown. He earned it on his first day in the arena. He has never given it up, and nothing Supercell does, short of a fundamental redesign, will ever change that.